Hello and welcome to the United Stand. I hope you're all doing well. Jose Mourinho will be manager of the month for January for Manchester United, the Premier League, and anybody else who wants to sit up and take notice. An amazing turnaround. I don't know what that's in here. An amazing turnaround from 30 days ago. 30 days ago, we were doing a video about Jose Mourinho after drawing against Southampton, after drawing against Burnley at home, after drawing against Leicester away, after losing to Man City. A terrible December where many Manchester United fans lost patience in Jose Mourinho. It's unbelievable to think that that actually happened. But here's a reminder of what we were talking about back then and what I said 30 days ago.
I would say to every single Manchester United fan, look, I can't say back Mourinho forever. I can't say it's definitely going to work out, but I can say this is way too soon. And what I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, is look, if you can give us 31 days, give us 31 days. Back the manager. We are Manchester United. Be United. Back the manager till January the 31st, and then let's reassess. And I say that for two reasons. One, because we've got a transfer window. If he's not backed in this transfer window, because let's not forget, his contract's up at the end of next season. If he doesn't get any backed in this January transfer window, I personally think that's because Mourinho's probably going to go anyway in the summer to PSG, and he's refusing to sign a contract. And if that's the case, then we need to obviously deal with that. I'd also say give it till January 31st because there's a lot of games to be played in January around the league, and let's see where we are. Because if we do drop into 6th, like a lot of people are predicting, then even I would look at it and go, there's no progress, there's a big problem. But please, 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 just give him 31 days and let's just see what happens in January.
Amazing, amazing stuff. And my hair's longer, but amazing stuff. 30 days ago, people wanted Mourinho out. It was that bad. What a difference a month makes, and what a difference everybody sticking together for that month. Because I think everybody did. I think after that video, we all came together and we were like, look, let's give him a month. Let's see where we are. What a month it's been. Forget the results. Manager of the month, Jose Mourinho, will be this month unless the Agenda Press and the Agenda FA pull a fast one on us. He is guaranteed manager of the month. Arsenal have dropped points. Liverpool have dropped points. City have dropped points. Chelsea have dropped points. Everybody. There's nobody. We've been to Everton. We've beaten Stoke. We've been to Burnley. We've won. We'll beat Yeovil on Friday. And obviously we won the other FA Cup game. It's going to be a flawless January. Jose Mourinho will stop Pep Guardiola winning 5 Premier League Manager of the Months in a row. Unprecedented it would have been. Mourinho will stop it. But not only that, Conte's been destroyed and put in a box this month. I'm sure he'll open it up again because he is a jack-in-the-box Red Bull addict. But Mourinho's destroyed Conte. He's got him so destroyed he's thinking of signing Peter Crouch. Arsene Wenger. I mean, didn't need to do it to poor old Arsene. I mean, he's finished anyway. But no, you know what? While we're at it, whilst I'm on a roll, it's a bit like Bittersweet Sympathy. Richard Ashcroft strolling down the road. Substitute the head for Mourinho because he's pushing everyone out of the way. I'll go down the Emirates. I'll take their best player again like Sir Alex did with Robin van Persie. Pochettino, 3 months ago, the press was saying he's a better manager than me. Now where is he? 8 points behind me. Pep Guardiola, the best of the lot. Pep, who's been waiting all, I won't take him on August the 31st. I'll take him in January. Alexis Sanchez, Mourinho, bang, straight in, takes him. Makes the whole press sit down. Makes the press look stupid. Oh, it's all about money that they're nicking Alexis Sanchez. It's a straight swap deal and we offered the same as Man City. Absolutely brilliant. As for Liverpool, he don't need to do anything to Klopp because Klopp will just destroy himself. He's got a worse win record ratio than Brendan Rodgers and he's been at that club longer. Stunning, absolutely stunning stuff. And if you don't like all that, and there still will be the bitter press who hate Mourinho out there, if you still don't like all that, look at these stats. We tweeted it out before. 2015, after 23 games, which is where we are now. 2015, Manchester United had 39 goals scored, 43 points. 2016, 28 goals scored, terrible. 37 points, terrible. That was Van Gaal's last year. We all wanted him out at this time. 2017, last year under Mourinho, 33 goals, 42 points. 2018, now, 48 goals, 50 points. Smashed anything that's been achieved in the last 4 years, Jose Mourinho. And you can add Moyes in there as well. I just didn't want to look at his because it makes me sick. He's absolutely destroyed it. You don't see these stats. You don't see these positive things. You don't see the steep incline that Jose Mourinho has done to Manchester United. And everybody who's sticking by him, we are now starting to see Manchester United again under Jose Mourinho. The progress is stunning. And I'll talk about Man City because people say, oh, you never shut up about Man City. You should be called the Man City stand. Look, If Man City fans haven't got a fan channel because they're so small and you want to jump on the back of ours, that's fine. But we're the United stand, we're not the City stand. But we talk about Man City and I make no apologies about it because they're top of the league. They're in our spot. That's where we want to be. I don't talk about Liverpool. Can't stand them. Don't talk about Arsenal. Took their best player. Don't talk about Chelsea. Has-beens. Don't talk about Spurs. Never gonna be's. I talk about City because they are where we will be. They are in our spot. And I look at that and I think, why are they in that spot? Pep Guardiola, if they sign Laporte, which I'm damn sure they will, that will be £250 million they've spent on defenders. Forget everybody else they've bought. Defenders alone, £250 million. Pep Guardiola has only been at Man City for about 18 months. He averages spending £15 million a month. When you divide it by the months he's been there, by how much he spent on defenders, £15 million a month he spends on defenders. Pep Guardiola. Again, another stat you'll never see in the press because they're not about money. Mourinho has worked wonders at Manchester United, and this month of January has been absolutely stunning. Alexis Sanchez signed, won every Premier League game, as I said. Everton away, Stoke at home, Burnley away, 9 points. People will say, well, it's Everton, Stoke and Burnley. Sit down. Everton away is always a tough game, 3 points. Burnley away, very tough game, 3 points. And Stoke, I can't remember the last time we beat Stoke, and comfortably did it as well. What a month it's been. And it's very easy to be negative about where we were a month ago and people saying Mourinho out, but what you never see, and we're very bad at it, we never celebrate brilliance. We never celebrate good news. We never pat somebody on the back when they've done fantastic things. And what Mourinho's done in a month, if you were offered this a month ago, flawless wins, 3 wins, still in the FA Cup, Alexis Sanchez signed, destroyed Conte, mugged off Pep, mugged off Wenger, absolutely stunning. And he will be manager of the month. There is no, it won't be announced until the start of February, but there is nobody, I looked before we went live, there is nobody in the Premier League of any manager who's won 3 games in a row and done what we've done this month. He should absolutely walk it, and we'll see if he does. Calamity Jones says, De Gea linked to PSG in the past few days. Any news on his contract situation and also Mourinho's contract? Mourinho will sign a new contract, 100%. He definitely will, because the Alexis Sanchez signing is evidently all about Jose Mourinho and him signing for Manchester United. So signing a new contract, it's inevitable. But Sandeep says he's loving the video. I'm loving doing the video. I'm loving the positivity of where Manchester United are. Look, the mind the gap nonsense that Man City want to throw at us, I'm past all that. You beat us in December, we had a bad month. It's 2018 now, and what I prefer to look at is this line of where we are when Mourinho comes in and where we are now. And if the line's there, we're up here. And it's this. Yes, there's little dips, Huddersfield along the way and Leicester in the last minute. We've had dips, but I still think he's massively overachieving with the squad that he's got. There's a lot of deadwood. And I haven't got the clip, but anybody who's a regular will know I said this around the start of the month, and we were all talking about it. And I said, Manchester United, if they're going to close the gap on Manchester City, they've got to do 2 things. We've got to buy. We want to use the youth, but we've got to buy, because we haven't got the youth ready at the moment, and the players we've got at the moment aren't good enough. So the only short-term gap is to buy. So we had to buy. And there was 2 things about that. We've got to be ruthless in who we get rid of. We've got to be aggressive in who we get with. And a lot of United fans have been very upset over the last 10 days about what's happened with Mkhitaryan and, you know, did Sanchez choose us for the money, which he didn't. But I have no sympathy with those fans. I love the fact that you're respectful of Mkhitaryan. I'm respectful of Mkhitaryan. It's sad what's happened to him. But we're Manchester United. In 20 years' time, these players and managers won't be here. In 100 years' time, we won't be here. But Manchester United will. It's about Manchester United. It's about the legacy of Manchester United. We shouldn't sit still. We shouldn't make do. We were ruthless in this transfer market. We were ruthless with what we did with Mkhitaryan. It was, I knew, and many people knew, that he was finished at United. But how quick we got rid of him, I actually thought he'd have another 6 months, maybe another year, before we got rid of him, because Mourinho signed him, and I thought, stubbornness of Mourinho, he won't want to be perceived as buying a flop. So, but I knew Mkhitaryan was finished, his head had gone. So, ruthless. We were ruthless. We got rid of him. Very ruthless. And then, aggressive. My God, we weren't aggressive. We went nuclear on the Alexis Sanchez deal. Nobody called it. One of the best players in the world. And we went and did that. So we've ticked the box. We've ticked the box. And absolutely stunning what we've done, and really pleased about what we've done. Really am, because I think this is the sign of a new Manchester United. I always feel like Mourinho's had to prove himself with a very weakened squad, and I don't think there's a manager apart from Sir Alex Ferguson who could do what Mourinho's done at Manchester United in this short period of time with the squad that he's got, because it's a really poor squad, and I'm just ecstatic. I'm ecstatic with what he's done. I'm excited about what we're going to achieve. He will sign a new contract. I think there will be a marquee signing in the summer, and I think we will continue to grow. And I think where we're going, look, as I said, even if you just take the Mourinho years, a year ago we had 33 goals and 42 points. A year later we've got 48 goals and 50 points. In any other Premier League season, if Man City hadn't won that 14 games in a row, we would be battling for a title. Some people think we still are. I think it's probably too much for us. But any other year, we'd be comfortably fighting for a title. We've got 8 points more this year than we did last year, and we've got 15 more goals. Next year will be better than this year, and this is the thing about Mourinho. It's progress, and the signings he's bringing in, and what's happening with the loan players, and how he's basically dealt with what is a very negative media against Manchester United. They want us to fail. They don't write positive things. They are constantly looking for negative things. And I think he's dealt with the media in a perfect way. He's just palmed them off and ignored the trolls and just got his head down and cracked on with it. And I think that's the perfect thing to do. When it's managers like Conte who want to have a go, slap him down. But the way he's dealt with the press has been fantastic. I think Manchester United fans are rejuvenated. There was a lot of uncertainty 30 days ago about whether this board was going to back Mourinho. They certainly have. Mourinho's been given the tools that he needs. The players are responding. Even the latest bit of news about Manchester United have stepped aside in relation to Alexandro from Juventus, who's a left-back, and have given a free path to Chelsea to go and sign him for 60 million, because Mourinho now sees Luke Shaw as the long-term left-back for Manchester United. I mean, what a revolution that is. A revelation, sorry. It is a revolution as well. But what a revelation that is. Many of us wanted Luke Shaw to achieve things at Manchester United. Many of us believed he could do it. But many people, probably for the right reasons when you look at the evidence, felt Luke Shaw wasn't going to make it. That maybe his head wasn't right. That maybe his fitness wasn't good enough. We've just saved ourselves £60 million, and we've now got potentially the best young left-back in Europe playing for Manchester United, rejuvenated by Jose Mourinho. The same with Martial. Poor season last year, brilliant this year. Pogba's getting better. Sanchez has come in. Rashford, not playing well at the moment. I'm sure he'll come again. Lukaku's going to get better and better. The defence is really good. I just think we've got a great foundation at Manchester United, and you couldn't have wished for a better month. You couldn't have wished for a better month. I think the headline says Pep Guardiola's been humiliated like the press, and you know, people are saying, "Oh, look, oh yeah, he's not been humiliated. Look at the gap, and it's this or that." But he has been humiliated. Alexis Sanchez said the words himself. It's a dream to come to Manchester United. I've always wanted to come to Manchester United, and when Jose Mourinho approached me, there was only one choice to make. And we know he was on the verge of signing for Pep Guardiola. And you get plonkers saying, "Oh, he's just been told to say that." But the easy choice was Man City. The easy choice was Pep Guardiola. He's played under Pep. He's got a Premier League title there, ready and waiting for him. The money's going to be the same. He's got a better. They are a better team. They are a better footballing team. Everything's set up for him at Man City to go and have an easier life. And he chooses United. He chooses the club, the real club. He chooses the legend Seven shirt. He chooses Mourinho, the better manager. He chooses Manchester United, the bigger and better club, the greatest club in the world, as he called it. He chooses the real project at Manchester United, the momentum club, and that's what Manchester United are at the moment. He will win Manager of the Month. We will beat the Oval on Friday night. We will hopefully win the FA Cup. I don't think anybody's a match for us anymore. I think we can do anything we want to do, and we're still on that progress. But the progress is amazing. Broski R says, yeah, we got Sanchez and it boosts up our attacking play, but we need to play more attacking. I literally don't know what the plan is passing our half. We will see a different Manchester United. We will see a Manchester United that is more dynamic and more direct with Alexis Sanchez in it. Of that I am convinced. But I think the journey that we are making is one that is is not an easy one. It's not an easy one. I'll say this time and time again, and again I am going to mention Man City again, but I don't make any apologies about it. They are top of the league at the moment. That's where I want Manchester United to be. And what Pep Guardiola inherited, as I said many a times before, was Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Sergio Aguero, company, and a couple of other really good players, top class players. Mourinho inherited David De Gea and a finished Rooney. That was pretty much it. And a very young Anthony Martial. He didn't inherit anybody else of any worth at Manchester United. And Pep has still spent more money. We've spent a lot of money, but he's still spent more money than we have. And we've still pretty much gone toe to toe with him, apart from a bad month in December where we let it slip. So I think what we've achieved is absolutely fantastic. Joe Raymond says, do you think Alexi will play against Yeovil? I think he has to, because we've got Spurs next Wednesday and we need to produce. We need to go there and get 3 points. And as Dante Gerrard says, Sanchez wanted to play for a team with history and the most successful. United dominated the Premier League for years. City are small timers, and I think this is what frustrates Man City fans so much at the moment, is that they are comfortably top of the league. They will win the league. There's talk of them winning the quadruple, which I'll categorically tell you now they never will. And the press want everybody to like Man City, but real football fans aren't interested in Manchester City because they know what they are. The press are trying to, as I said last night, this fake news rewriting of history. They're trying to make Man City into this. They're trying to make Man City into Manchester United, and they're trying to make Manchester United into Man City. So they're trying to say we're all about money, and they're trying to say Man City and Pep are the purest football club. And the vast majority of the press are saying that. But the problem is, the vast majority of football fans, because fans are the lifeblood, whether they're United fans, Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, it doesn't really matter. They might hate Manchester United, but they're not stupid. They're football fans, and they're football fans of their clubs for many, many years. And they're not stupid. They know what Manchester City are. Even Klopp has said it. Even Conte and Wenger have said it. They know that Manchester City are the cancer of the Premier League. They know what Man City have done is immoral. And football fans know as well. So the press can keep spurning out their nonsense about Man City, Man City, Man City, but nobody's listening. They're 12 points clear. They destroyed the Premier League win record. He's won 4 Premier League Manager of the Month award. You hardly ever see them mentioned. Nobody really wants to talk about them. It's still always United, Liverpool, City, and a bit of Chelsea. They're the big clubs. They're the ones that people want to talk about, and they're the ones that have got the history and the interest. No one's interested in Man City, and that's what bothers Man City fans, because all they've got is mind the gap, we're better than you. But January, as I say, from a Mourinho point of view, he sat down everybody. The press, Wenger, Pep, Klopp, Conte, everybody. Flawless record, won every single game. It's been stunning. And he will win Manager of the Month unless the conspiracy continues. He will win Manager of the Month at Manchester United. Smash the like button, everybody. Let's see if we can get 1,000 likes. Also, I must just say on YouTube, I noticed something today. I don't know how it works, but YouTube's now got a community bit where we can post polls up and little messages on YouTube, and if you subscribe to us, you get it on your feed, because a lot of people were liking it, and it's a bit like, I suppose, a bit like Twitter really. We can put something up and then people can comment and debate it. So we've started doing that. So make sure you have subscribed to the channel and turn your notifications on, because it's not just videos we're doing now. YouTube sort of turned a corner and has gone a little bit more sort of a social media thing as well. So we're putting up polls. We're going to put one up probably later on tonight saying what video do you want us to do tomorrow. Do you want us to do a Yeovil preview, or would you rather us talk about something else? Because I know previews are important, but we can incorporate a preview 5 minutes into a more topical show if you want us to do that. So make sure you've subscribed and make sure you've got your notifications on. You can get involved in that. Let's take some of your questions, everybody. I realise that there is Kyle Field, Alexis Sanchez is not cup tied. He didn't play in the cup for Arsenal, so he's not cup tied. It doesn't matter that Arsenal won the FA Cup or not. He's out. He's not in it. Mkhitaryan's obviously cup tied tonight because he did play in the League Cup for Manchester United. Abang says Martial Player of the Month. I read something today, actually. I think it was James Pilger, and I think he's something to do with Bleacher Report, and he was talking about Anthony Martial. I think Anthony Martial's got 11 goals from the wing this season. He does not get the credit he deserves at all. I think amongst the Manchester United community he does, and I've been saying probably pretty much since he signed, within months he was my favourite player, and he has been my favourite player at Manchester United for a long time. I know a lot of people prefer Pogba and everything, but I just love Martial. I love wingers. I love the flair players. I'm really excited about Tahith Chong. But Anthony Martial has been almost flawless this year. He started on the bench. He was coming off the bench and just absolutely murdering teams. Now he's starting games and he's consistently murdering teams. He got the winner at Burnley at the weekend. He has been absolutely amazing this season. And outside of Manchester United fans, he does not get the credit he deserves. The press don't really talk about him much. Sky Sports, they did a Manchester United 11 yesterday of how the team's going to be with Sanchez in it. There was no Martial, but Lingard and Rashford are in it. I mean, come on. They don't watch us, do they? Martial is player of the season for me at the moment. He's absolutely amazing. And if he was English, or he'd come through our youth setup, they'd be calling him the next Ronaldo. They'd be calling him world class. But because he's French, and he doesn't talk to the media much, and he doesn't dance around doing little dab videos, he sort of goes unnoticed. But his form this year, it just shows you actually how much anti-United feeling there is out there amongst the press, because they clearly don't watch us play. They're clearly just too interested in, oh, let's have a pop at Mourinho, or let's have a pop at how much money United are spending. Because if anybody spent any time watching Manchester United this season, they'd realise what a fantastic player Anthony Martial is. And I think it's really disrespectful to him when people now compare him to Marcus Rashford. I think Marcus Rashford can be a top-class player for Manchester United. He's going through a bad patch, and I really like Rashford, and he will come out of it. But it's testament to how good Martial is that there's no comparison between the two anymore. Martial is on a different level of consistency and talent and flair, and Rashford needs to get back to that. But Martial's, for me, is one of the first names. In fact, I wouldn't have swapped Alexis Sanchez for Martial. I wouldn't swap many players in world football for Anthony Martial, because I think Martial is 21, 22. He's going to get better and better, and at the moment he's already stunning, absolutely amazing, amazing player, and deserves a lot more credit than he gets. Football Red Devils says Martial is definitely a contender for Manchester United Player of the Year along with Pogba. Lucian says, Mark, do you think we need another defender? Well, obviously Laporte looks like he's going to Manchester City. Johnny Evans may be going to Arsenal. I personally don't. I'm very relaxed about the defence. I don't feel the need to go and sign a Laporte or something like that. If you've got a defender like Vidic and Ferdinand, like we did, and you know they're both world class, then obviously that's a fantastic situation to be in. But I'm actually really content with what we've got. I don't think we've got a world-class defender, and you could argue we haven't got a top-class defender. But what we have got is a number of defenders who are very, very dedicated to the cause, who will run through brick walls now. There was question marks over Smalling and Jones last year. Remember in April when they couldn't get fit, and Mata got himself fit from a groin strain in 3 weeks, and those two were injured, and Mourinho was sort of hinting at their lack of desire to get back. Yet again, he's got two players like that back. And I like Jones and Smalling. My concern about Jones is he's always going to let us down with injury, but somehow he's sorted that out as well. So I'm over the moon with Phil Jones and Smalling. They have got their limitations, but I trust them. And I think that is the biggest sort of praise I could give them as a Manchester United fan, and I'm sure many of you feel the same. I trust Chris Smalling and Phil Jones now. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I do. Yeah, they've got issues every now and again, but they've been very consistent this season. Rojo, I like Rojo as a centre-back. Eric Bailly, I think, is the best defender of the lot. He just needs to sort out his injury record. Hopefully he's going to be back for the Sevilla game mid-February. Lindelof is improving. You've got Twansibi coming through. So we've got a lot of centre-backs. I would agree none of them are world-class, and none of them probably ever will be. But we've got a lot of reliable centre-backs that we can trust. And I don't think we need to go and sign a top one. I don't. As for full-backs, Valencia's the captain. Ashley Young's playing at the moment. Luke Shaw is coming through. And I think Fosu Mensah will come back. So in the summer, I wouldn't be looking to buy defenders at all. And we keep De Gea, obviously. I'd be looking at a midfielder. And I'd be looking at another attacker. Somebody who can play in behind Lukaku. I'm very excited about what Manchester United can do. Trevor Evans has made a contribution. He says, I love the fact that Manchester United earn their money from the people globally and not propped up due to oil money. Thank you, Trevor from Minnesota. Look, Manchester United are a fantastic club. We are a fantastic club, and we are starting to get back to where we need to be. And it has been a long process, and I still think there is a process to go through. We're not going to win the league this year. We're not. Man City are not going to drop 12 points simply because the league is crap. Below Manchester United and Man City, the league is very poor. and I mean that. Liverpool, Swansea, on their day they can smash Man City, but consistently they will lose to teams like Swansea. Arsenal are the same. Spurs have struggled. Chelsea aren't that good. It really should have been a 2-horse race between Man City and Man United, but unfortunately we're not consistent and we haven't got as good a team as Man City at the moment. So they've won more games than us, and that has turned into a 12-point gap. But I've seen City play a few times. I watched them pretty much every week before we played them at Old Trafford, 4 games in a row. They won them all, but they scraped them all. But it's fine margins, and they beat us at Old Trafford, but Lukaku gave them 2 assists and we lost 2-1, and we should have had a penalty. So fine margins. Next year will be better, and we'll be better for this experience. But Man City won't drop 12 points because the league's not good enough for them to drop 12 points. Below, teams like Leicester, Stoke, Burnley, they're just not good enough. They're not good enough. But next year we'll need to be as consistent as City have, and I can't wait. What does the Sanchez signing mean for Pereira, says Sly Ninja Gaming. Andres Pereira, I don't know. I want him back. I want him and Fosu Mensah to come back. I think they would be like new signings. But I think the first hurdle for Manchester United, on a serious note, is that what is he going to do with Martial and Sanchez? He has to play them. He's got to play them together, and then that makes us a very exciting team. Judah Corey says it should be Phil Jones and Eric Bailly as the new duo. I think it probably will be because it was at the start of the season. But I think Chris Smalling's been fantastic this year, and Smalling I point to November when Jones was out, when Bailly was out, when Rowe was out, and Smalling really stepped up to the plate in some big games like Watford and Arsenal. He was fantastic, and when we needed somebody, Smalling stepped up, and we shouldn't forget that. How confident am I about Sevilla, says Deepan Sharkush. We should win that game. We should win that. What's the chances we can win the league? Like matches we need to win and matches Man City need to lose, says Iconic Venom. I don't believe there's enough games for Man City to lose this title. 12 points, and we'd need to win every single game. And also, let's not forget, we've got to go to Spurs next week. We've got to go to City. I think we'll beat Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal at Old Trafford, and I think we could beat everybody else in every other game. But I don't think we'll get... I'll tell you what though, I'll make this prediction. Mourinho will win Manager of the Month in January because nobody else has won as many games as him, and it would be an absolute conspiracy if he didn't. I've got a funny feeling Mourinho could win 3-4 Premier League Manager of the Month awards, and that'd be funny, wouldn't it? I've got a funny feeling we're going to end this season very strongly. Very strongly indeed. Ed Woodward is even in our live comments, says Sandeep. How do you rate... Well, here's a good question from Artik Shetty. He says, how do you rate our chances in the UEFA Champions League after Sanchez signing? Everybody get commenting below and give us your thoughts on that. And I will answer your question, Andrew, about Seri being any good. And Adam Collins says, who will win the Champions League? I said at the start of the season that Manchester United's goal this year should have been winning the Premier League and Champions League quarterfinals at least, and anything above that is a bonus. We're not going to win the Premier League, so that is not going to get a tick in the box. I think the FA Cup we've got to win because we want to definitely win a trophy, and I'd like to win the FA Cup with Mourinho. I know we won it with Van Gaal a couple of years ago, but I didn't enjoy it because I thought him winning it meant he was not going to get the sack. So I didn't enjoy it as much as I would if we won it under Mourinho. The Champions League, I think realistically, draw permitting, because you never know who you'd get in the next round if we got past Sevilla. I think semi-final is what we've got to be looking at, depending on who we get in the quarterfinal. Because if you pull Barcelona in the quarterfinal, you may as well say it's irrelevant. It's not failure to lose to Barcelona in a quarterfinal or a Real Madrid. But if we get a half decent team in the quarterfinals, I think semi-final should be what we're looking to achieve, and anything above that is a bonus. But what excites me about the Champions League with Manchester United is that, one, we're in it. It's so long since we've been in the latter stages of the Champions League. I think it was actually under Moyes when Evra scored that bullet against Bayern Munich. But Mourinho is a cup manager, and we could effectively do very well in the Champions League, because I think the Premier League will get to a point. What Mourinho's plan will be in the Premier League is, let's keep winning, because at the moment it's not a hindrance to us. We're 6 points clear of Liverpool. We're 8 points clear of Spurs in 5th. Let's keep building that gap, and then when it gets to like March time, and if City are still 12 points clear, and it's, we've got zero chance of winning the league, but we've got a big cushion between 3rd and 4th, let's then start to cleverly think about focusing on the Champions League, because I think Mourinho over 2 legs can beat Barcelona, he can beat Real Madrid, he can beat PSG, he can beat Man City. There's no club we can't beat in that tournament. But we're not the best team in the tournament, and we have to hold our hands up and say that. But it's exciting. It's really exciting. And I tell you what, I would be devastated, absolutely devastated if Man City won the Champions League. Premier League, they've won it before. I can deal with it. It's upsetting, but I can deal with it. But if they win the Champions League, that would be very, very hard to deal with. And we're in that tournament, so we've got to do well in that tournament, because ultimately Man City could win it, but they can't win it if we're in it, and they've got to beat us, and we'd have to beat them. So that would be my motivation if I was Manchester United. Andrew Ellis says, is Seri from Nice any good? I'm not going to put my hands up and say I know. I've watched a lot of him. In fact, I've watched very little of him. I would have to put my hand up and say a lot of what I've seen has been clips and highlights. He's also playing in the French league, which I've given a lot of stick to in the past. He's also 26. Where's he been for 5 years? Why is he still at a club like Nice? But having said all that, he's also 5'5", which is not Mourinho's sort of midfielder, is it? When you think about Fellaini's made a career at Manchester United under Mourinho just because he's tall. So I don't think Seri ticks any of the boxes for Manchester United at all. But looking at what he is, he's a decent player. I mean, people say he's like Kante. He's not like Kante. He's not really... The defensive side of his game's good, but that's not really what he's all about. He's more box to box. He's actually quite good on the offensive side of things. So I just don't think Mourinho would go for a player like that. But then again, would that mean Mourinho wouldn't go for Verratti, who's 5'6"? I don't know. He looks good, but I would wonder why he's at 26 and why he's at Nice. Who's going to win the League Cup? Says Ed Woodward. I haven't got a lot. He's 5'6", as Man United. Sorry. I haven't got a lot of interest in the League Cup. The League Cup didn't really interest me that much when United were in it. I'm not a big fan of the League Cup, but I think Mourinho was, because it's an opportunity to win a trophy. The photo on the desk, Kevin O'Callaghan, is Jim White on the Transfer Daily one. Tyrone Williams says, I've got a feeling United will play City in the Champions League. Oh, that would be stunning, wouldn't it? Packed ground, amazing atmosphere at Old Trafford, and then a half-empty one at the Etihad. I think Sanchez will get 10 goals between now and the end of the season comfortably. I love the Champions League as well, Louise. It's where we need to be. Red Nought, yes, you can have a shout out, pal. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new and keep spreading the word. We are closing in on 184,000 subscribers. And please do drop a like on the video. Let's get to 1,000 while we're live. Mohammed Hafishi says, Mark, is Bailly world class, or at least will he be? Thoughts? He's definitely got the potential to be world class, but he needs to sort his injury record out, and he needs to start playing consistently and improve. But he's definitely young enough to do it. He's definitely young enough to do it. Yeovil Manchester United is on the BBC on Friday night. Yes, it's a 5 to 8 kickoff. My thoughts on Milankovic-Savic, Taj, is that he's a very, very good player. A very, very good player. He might be a little bit too expensive for us at £80 million, but from what I've seen of him, and I do watch a lot of Serie A football, he is very like Pogba, and he's 6'4", so he ticks the boxes over. I think if Mourinho had a choice between Savic at 6'4" and the lad from Nice, I think he would go for 5'6". I think he would go for Savic, but it's what's available. Red Nought, subscribe to the channel. High five, mate. Raja Nainggolan for a centre midfield option, says Farhan. Look, Nainggolan's a player I'd love to see at United, but the talk is he's going to China. He signed a new contract last summer when we were linked to him. I think he chose to stay in Roma instead of coming to United. He's fallen out with Roma now, 6 months later, but he's still in the middle of a massive contract, so he would cost a lot of money, and he's about 28, 29 himself. So China will offer that money up. I don't think we will. 2018 is the beginning, says Guy Valentino. I think Edward Wood, you're right. I think Griezmann will go to Barcelona, because I think he's had his chance to come to Manchester United, and United got impatient with him. Andrew Kay says that Seri's got a £35 million clause and he's a £100 million player. I've got to say, I don't know loads about Seri, but why is he at Nice at 26? If he's such a world-class player, why is he at Nice in a crap French league at 26? I agree. A lot of what I've seen of him, he looks really good, but I don't understand why. Is he a late developer? I mean, yeah, maybe it gives Lingard hope because he's 25 now. Harry G123 wants a shout out. Anyway, I've probably gone on way too long on this video. Please do smash a like on the video. Remember to subscribe if you're new, because we will be putting up the polls on the YouTube thing now, because it's got the social media aspect, so we can put like comments and stuff up, and polls and things like that. But thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the start of the video, because it was interesting myself. I remembered that video we did a month ago where loads of people were Mourinho out, and we did say give him 30 days, give him 30 days. Even I didn't expect that 30 days down the line we'd have signed Sanchez and won every game. But it's amazing the turnaround, isn't it? And it just shows you how quick football can turn around. As I said, 3 months ago, all we could hear from the press is Marco Silva at Watford manager and Pochettino at Spurs. They're better than Mourinho. 3 months down the line, Marco Silva's been sacked and Pochettino's 8 points behind us. So it just shows you football can change very, very quickly. Ice Cold made a contribution. He says, not a Fellaini fan, but for all the stick he gets, he still makes it as a starter in a Belgian team with Hazard and De Bruyne. He has to be good for Summon. Yeah, but they're attackers, aren't they? He plays as a midfielder. As I join, you leave, says Charms Litton. Well, we're live at 8 o'clock every night, mate. I know there's a match on and people are like probably watching the match, but they know the United stands live at 8 o'clock, so there's no excuse if people are wanting to do other things rather than join the community. That is their prerogative. So thanks everybody. I shall speak to you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, and I will speak to you all very soon. And thanks everybody for watching. I know there's a big game on, and I really appreciate the hardcore who choose to come and join the community and get involved with the United stand. So thanks everyone, keep spreading the word, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Barlow.